Joanna Garzilli here, checking in. I am on day 15 of my 21-day fitness challenge. This is the second time I am doing this fitness challenge, and normally what I do is I make sure that I am wearing a bikini or some underwear for showing my progress, and here it is. Here I am. The fact that I am able to stand here and not feel total shame is huge for me. So here we go. Look at this. Stomach before, if you've seen pictures of me before, I had rolls of fat. See when I bend forward now, I do not have these rolls of fat. I'm going to show you now, two things. One, my back. Look at my back. So I had a rash for many months that kept flaring up every time I ate certain foods, and I want to share with you what I did that has cleared up my rash. And then the third thing here is my butt. Look at the progress here. And if you have not seen pictures of my butt before, I have one that I'm saving for after I've done 90 days. But the one of my butt is just, it made me wince. It was really, really very uncomfortable. And I know, as a focus of having taught intuition and being a spiritual coach for many years, that was stuff that was inside at an energetic level that I've been purging. So I find when you work from the inside out, you get results, and when you work from the outside in, you get that transformation as well. The first thing I want to talk about is my back, and how did I clear up my back, and how have I managed to get to a place where I feel good, where I feel good enough about my body here in a way that I didn't before. And it has been a very simple process for me. It's almost, I think what happens is a lot, and we hear this, is that we know that certain things are simple, but it doesn't mean they are easy. It requires discipline. And I feel the other thing I've noticed is it's having support, accountability. My husband, Nick Garzilli, has been on this journey with me as well, and I really encourage you to check out what he has been doing in his transformation, because it has been phenomenal. And also surrounding oneself with really fantastic people. I'm very grateful to Garen Jones for that support. So the first thing I've done is I want to show you this magnet from my fridge. Let me just grab this. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Here, look. Basically what it says is swap it. Swap a traditional breakfast for a shake. So for me, being British, I am a big fan of English breakfasts, and then having lived in America for 15 years, I'm a huge fan of having the hash browns, you can see here in the picture, and the eggs, and the pancakes with the maple syrup. And I've exchanged this for a shake. And the shake, and I've tried many different protein powders over the years, but this is what I am using. I am using Herbalife protein drink mix. I am a huge fan of this. Yeah, Garen told me a while back, he said, and I didn't believe this, this is when I was at 154 pounds, he said, it's 80% nutrition and 20% exercise. And I had to suspend my disbelief and go through the process, and having had that experience now, I agree with what he has said. I think with these things, you have to do your own due diligence. You have to try out things for yourself. The second thing that I do with that protein drink mix is I have healthy meal. You can see Herbalife healthy meal. And so what I do is I take 2 scoops of the protein mix, and I take 1 of the healthy meals, sometimes 2, and then I'll add in, let me just show you from my freezer here. Big fan of these. Trader Joe's here, Trader Joe's frozen strawberries. Stick that in the blender with some ice, and sometimes I'll throw a banana in, but it's just not needed. And that is what I now have for my breakfast. And that is now why my skin is cleared up and I'm able to wear a bikini. The second thing that I wanted to share with you as well is last week I had this realization about the connection between the inner and the outer self, and I mentioned about tarot here. So for those of you who don't know what tarot is they are a form, a way to be able to connect into unseen energy. And this thought came to me in the middle of recording, of the idea of whatever is happening internally. That tarot card represents something in one's physical transformation. So I'll just give you an example here. So I'm going to mix the cards. And then when I pick this card, think about how this could relate to you. Because if you're watching, you just happen to be watching this video, and maybe out of curiosity, maybe because there's something in you that knows that you are ready for that next level of transformation, but have been dancing around it or resisting it. I can't even tell you how much resistance I go through. I'm just going to lay these cards out here. I move into my final week of this specific challenge. And what I realize is it's not just, oh, we do one challenge and that's it, because in the past I've challenged myself in certain ways, and then it's sort of like with dieting, one yo-yos, you lose all the weight and then put it back on. Or let's say people say, oh, I'm going to do a sales push, so they go and they get really active and go out there and they make a whole load of money, and then they burn through it all again. None of those things are sustainable. It always goes back to creating a lifestyle for yourself that is integrated. Mind, body, spirit, health integration. And if you focus on that, everything else will go well in your life. I'm going to pick this card now. Wow. Okay, this is crazy. And I got this card upside down as well. Can you see what that is? Okay, I'm going to turn it up now so you can see this. Now, this is one of the worst cards one can get in the deck. This is sort of like the card where you go, there's certain cards out of these 78 that I would not want to get. This is it. This is one of them. And this to me says why this is what I have struggled with for many, many years. This is the first time in my life that I have got this card and said, yeah, I'm okay with this, because I feel that those parts of myself that have held me back, that have been negative, that have caused me, when I had the skin rash, where my arse has been huge, where I felt ashamed of who I am, where I have felt ugly and that I am not enough, no more. I am not letting this hold me back anymore. The idea that sometimes when maybe certain people haven't said, people close to me in my life from the past, who I've wanted their love, I've wanted their approval, and they haven't given it to me, or they've told me there was something wrong with me. And then I took that on. I took that energy in. And one of the ways that manifested was a lot of extra weight on my body, feeling weighed down by, and think about the way down. Look at this, see here with the chains? A lot of the time, I find chains are a mental thing. That's the conclusion I have come to. The more and more I do the inner work, and I focus, one of the things I focus on is I go, I'm just, when I get up, I do drink coffee. I have a black coffee at the start of my day, and then all I focus on is that next meal. I say, okay, right, next I'm gonna go and get my protein shake. I get my protein shake next. Then I get on with the next part of my day. And I try not to think too far ahead. If I think too far ahead, I get overwhelmed. I also find that the more that I put myself out there and what I realize is there's these many different facets to me. There is the part of me who has worked in corporate finance, who has been on the London it scene from when I was younger. There is the part of me that is very studious. There is the part of me that is introverted, I'm an only child, I like to be alone. There is the part of me that has been very outgoing and loves to socialize. And there's all these different facets, right? There's all these different parts to oneself. And one of the other key things I've learned is it is important to create space for the different aspects of self to be accepted, because if not, they become the thing that holds you down. The other thing is that when I was younger, I used to watch quite a few thrillers and even scary movies, horror type movies. And then I went through a period of time with law of attraction, like, oh, you mustn't look at anything negative, and you don't want to send anything negative to the subconscious. But lately, I binge watched all the episodes of Stranger Things. I took Dominic for his 10th birthday. We went to Universal Studios yesterday, and one of the things, they have the plane crash site from War of the Worlds. We ended up watching War of the Worlds last night, which to me is terrifying. But what I realise is all these things that I fear, by being able to watch things, not to take them in, not to take in negative things, but to acknowledge that all things exist, light and dark, angels and devil type energy. People are positive, people are negative. And the idea of if we are all one, and if we are to accept all, then when we have a judgment of someone else, when we feel scared of something, when we feel repulsed by something, right, when we feel really judgmental of something, that is already an aspect within ourselves. And so I'm very careful about when I do watch certain things, say, that are darker or scary or engaging in certain ways. I have to make sure that I'm in a state where I'm in a state of learning and I'm being observational and I'm really looking to grow rather than go into a pattern where I'm feeding into a negative energy, or by opening those doorways, a negative energy can feed into me. And that is why I do take time to go inwards. I take time where I have to just be with myself. Sometimes when people reach out to me, it might take me a couple of days to reply if I'm doing inner work, because I really want to make sure that when I connect with you, or I respond to you, or you have a question about a certain thing, that I can come with absolute wisdom, integrity, truth, kindness, compassion, and all the goodness that goes with that. So a lot of people get scared of certain things, like, I don't want to get the devil card, I don't want to get the death card, or whatever it is, fill in the blank. For example, I don't want to lose that relationship, I don't want to be overweight, I don't want to struggle, I don't want to be in debt. Like, whatever that thing is for you, that if we can just accept and say, I am where I am, and I am where I am because of the choices I made. And if I accept responsibility, life can become miraculous. Things can transform in a powerful way. Now, there was another card that you can't see here, that as I pulled this card out, and this is going to be the follow-on from today, following the teaching from this. And it's like it came out and it's on top here. So I'm going to pick this card. Wow. This is amazing. This is the follow-on card. It's Temperance. And this, to me, it says it all. Look at this, okay? Chained here. Chained. Negative chains, right? But it's again, if we can learn from our negatives and create positives. Temperance, finding balance. One time I remember going to it was a movie screening event, and they had a big star there, and I asked her, I said, how do you find work-life balance? And she said, I don't. Things go like this. I don't feel it has to be that. I feel that one can create that balance for oneself. but that comes from making a decision to shape your life on a daily basis how you want. And so what needs to happen is you've got to look at your life. You've got to look at all aspects of your life and say to yourself, what do I want my day to look like from start to finish? And once you've made that decision of what you want your life to look like from start to finish, then you start to go through each action you take in the day and say, is that supporting creating how I want my life to look from start to finish? Temperance means don't deprive yourself, don't berate yourself, don't focus on the things that haven't worked on the past. Temperance is looking, how can you have what you want? How can you make changes without feeling like you're sacrificing, without feeling like you're suffering? It feels good and positive. So going back to that idea where I shared with you about being deprived from not having the English breakfast and having to pick a protein shake instead. With my body now looking like this, and I'm not even at a 90-day transformation, with my body like this, I will happily choose a temperance here to have that protein shake. You know, am I going to take, say for example, we've still got a bottle left over from a while ago. This bottle of whiskey here from months ago, I hadn't, like for a long time, you know, this or this, pick a glass of water, which is it going to be, right? So, choices. For you, what is that thing for you? Is it foods that cause you to go in this space? How can you still have what you want and find that magic, that strength, that healing energy that you can activate that self-healing? Is it going to be a toxic relationship? Not necessarily because someone's a bad person, but they're just not right for you. They don't get you. They don't resonate with you. They don't understand your values. They just don't get it. Or are you going to be patient and let a relationship blossom and focus on that positive outcome, that things are going to work, but just go a step at a time? If it's going to work out, you don't need to rush it anyway. Are you going to do a keep up with the Joneses? Gotta have the car, gotta have the handbag, gotta have the whatever the thing is to live beyond your means, using the credit cards, you know, without planning. We don't use credit cards at all now. I've gone through disaster with credit cards. I just work with the money that I have, not future earnings. Or being able to have the things that you want and really live within your means and say, I have created a budget of X for myself, and within that, I can live happily and responsibly within that. These are some of the things that I've learned. I wish I could say there's a magic pill. Anyone that says to you, you know, I don't know, 6-minute abs, 7-minute abs, just do this and everything, your life will be perfect. In my experience, the idea of those 7-minute abs or doing these simple things, it comes once you have been consistent, once you have laid that foundation for yourself. So I ask you today, what foundation do you want to create for yourself so that you can live your life on your terms, your version of happiness? I will check in with you again for the week 3 of the 21-day challenge. And this is Joanna Garzilli sending you an abundance of love.